Alright guys, Papa Pepper here. If you see behind me, interesting pile of plant with a nice little cave in it, right? This one's going to be called One Thing to Consider Before You Plant Kiwanos. Now the Kiwano is also known as the African Horned Melon. It's also known as like a horned jelly melon or a jelly melon. Some people call them pufferfish fruit or melons. But they're very interesting, very cool type of melon. They grow similar to a cucumber, but they're more like look like a pufferfish on the outside, and then on the inside they seem a lot more like little seeds wrapped in jelly packets, which I would compare if you're familiar with passion fruit. Something's happening up there. But here I just grabbed 2 hog panels and bent them over end to end this year. I planted one here, and then I ran over here and I planted another one here. I put in a couple on each side, the bottom of each side, just to let them go. Eventually, they were reaching out like crazy, so I ran a couple wires across the middle. Now, if you can see, down in here is where they were planted, and they're trying to run this way, and I've been grabbing them all year and throwing them back. They're running across my walkway this way. They are heading over to my scorpion peppers here across the walkway, over by the asta berries. They're coming across this way. It looks like they're going to overtake the cucumber trellis here. I got my nice cucumbers going. And then they're this way, they're heading out into the potatoes, which I got to pull anyway, but they're coming out like crazy. And then over here, they're reaching out and trying to take over, where I'm starting some Korean goji berries. So they're across this whole thing. It's one crazy mound, but if you look as well, all across here, you see fresh tendrils reaching across the whole thing. I mean, look against the skyline ones. They're all just everywhere, every which way. They're trying to grow. They're trying to go. They're trying to make more, just in every direction. Some of them are only hanging on to themselves and each other because there's nothing else. There's a tiny little hole in there. It's supposed to kind of look similar to this, where there's a big archway, but they've archwayed it and they've come down. You can see it's a little misshaped now because of their how they're climbing on it and the weight they're putting on it. And as you head this way, you know, like I said, this is all we really got left is this little hole. So if I come down in my Kiwano cave, this is where the magic happens, right? That's kind of a solid wall behind me. It's cutting across in every direction. And the tendrils are a little itchy, but here we actually got a couple of the fruit. Make that out in my hand. Yeah, these guys are green. They're going to actually get about that long. So they've got a ways to go. They got about double. And then they've got to spread out, turn yellow, ripen. So the deal is if you're thinking about growing these guys, is that the vine can grow 100 feet. The vine can produce 100 Kiwanos from one plant. And I sent some down to a friend of mine in Texas, and they pretty much took over his greenhouse. They went down in the irrigation system of the thing because he was doing hydroponics, and they started going all through the thing. Every year I've grown them. Often I've grown them on the perimeter fence in my garden, like this is. But when you've got guys like this waiting on the other side, you know, he's just going to eat everything. And at this point, it wouldn't matter because I'm going to get enough off of what I got in the middle. So the thing is if you're going to grow them, make sure you give them room to grow. I'm actually thinking next year about maybe growing them more like I grow my hops. And give them about, I don't know what that is, 15 feet or more of runway to head up the thing. Or I was considering letting them have my gourd tunnel next year, because the gourd tunnel is also an impressive beast where they can grow up one side, across the top, and then down the other side like my snake gourds are doing this year. So point is, this plant is a beast. It can produce a lot of food. They're very tasty food. They're very interesting. They're definitely something too. Like I like, eventually we're gonna try to get into farmers markets and stuff and actually selling our produce. But check it out. If I'm growing like bell peppers and I'm growing sweet corn and I'm growing tomatoes, I pretty much have the same thing to offer like everyone else does, right? But if I have at my table Kiwanos and snake gourds and maybe Chinese red noodle beans or something, then I've got something different to appeal to people. And when they come and they see these interesting things, they say, whoa, what's this? And I give them a sample, talk to them about it, explain things, and then while they're already there checking out the interesting stuff that piques their interest and makes them want to stop at my table as opposed to everyone else's, then I can sell them the stuff they were going to buy anyway. So I think that just diversifying and getting into things that people don't normally grow is probably a good idea too. I like doing a lot of that. This stuff, I mean, and just even the height of some of this is getting really impressive this year. You know, that's 2 tomato plants. They're rocking it out. But it looks like we're getting a storm coming in. I just wanted to say, hey, if you guys are considering growing the Kiwano, it's one I love, it's one I enjoy, it's one I like growing. This is probably not the way to go. I gave them a lot of space, certainly, but probably not the way to go. They probably need even more than what I gave them. So make sure you're going to have space for them if you plan on growing them. And I'm actually sending out some seeds to hold some roots, so I kind of wanted to throw this out there as a little bit of warning. So, all right, guys, got a bit before sundown. Got to get the rest of the work done. There it is, my little Kiwano cave. Looks kind of jungly. Looks kind of cool. All right, pop out. As always, I'm Papa Pepper, and I'd like to remind you, don't post for free. If you'd like to be part of a revolution in social media, an economic power to the people where users can actually blog for cryptocurrency, then I'd recommend that you check out steemit.com and join the revolution. Papa out.